Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, June 17th, 2019. Okay, for today's video, we're going to try and knock out a couple of them today. Just recently had the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony for this year. Was very disappointed with the artists that got in, with exception to one, that being Def Leppard. So I thought I would sit down today and do a list, if you will, of people that are artists that I would like to see in there. So, first one. Actually, before we do our list, okay, what do I think is worthy to be in the Hall of Fame? Longevity, influential, and a decent catalog of good, solid material that people can listen to over and over and over again. So, this first artist, and I don't know why she's not in there. This is absolutely floors me that she's not in there. First artist is Pat Benatar. Now, you can take somebody like Joan Jett, who's had, a couple of good songs, and she's in there. Pat Benatar has had a very, very decent catalog of albums, of music. I had a couple of them on today, a couple of her songs a couple hours ago, and I had the speakers cranked up so loud because it's my day off. Today's my Sunday, so I'm pretty much here by myself, and all my neighbors are at work, so I can crank it up a little bit and not piss the neighbors off. So we do that once in a while from time to time. And Pat Benatar's got some good stuff. Yeah, You Better Run, I was listening to today. Treat Me Right, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Invincible, Love Is a Battlefield. So many great songs. Heartbreaker. This is somebody that is worthy of being in that Hall of Fame, that I would love to see in there. So, hopefully she gets nominated next year. I'd love to see her inducted. Number 2, this band here, influential. First album sold millions and millions of copies, one of the biggest selling debut records of all time. Boston. They're often thought of, I guess I've heard a lot of people, the critics over the years, refer to them as corporate rock. They do a lot of really good AOR type stuff, they have over the years. And for me, that first album alone was one of the strongest debut albums I've ever heard in my life. And when I listened to it, that is an album I can listen to cover to cover. I can't even do that with Dark Side of the Moon, all right, from Pink Floyd. I can listen to Dark Side of the Moon, and then when the Great Gig in the Sky song comes on, I go ahead and flip it over and maybe start listening to Money. I can't listen to that screaming. That song gets on my nerves. But Boston album, I can listen all the way through. Foreplay Long Time. What an excellent song. Almost 8 minutes long. Something About You. Let Me Take You Home Tonight. Rock and Roll Band. Smokin'. Hitch a Ride, man. All of those songs. That album is strong cover to cover. Now, if you listen to classic rock radio, or the sad state of classic rock radio, you would think that More Than a Feeling and Peace of Mind are the only 2 songs on the album. Well, I'm here to tell you, that album's solid all the way through. Don't Look Back, very solid album. All right, and then they went a few years. They started recording, the recording process for Third Stage in the early 80s, and finally didn't release it until 86. But even that has some really good stuff on it. Then they take about 8 years, and then they do the follow-up album to that, which is Walk On, in 94. And Walk On's an acquired taste. A little bit different sound for them, some different singing, but still an all good album. I Need Your Love's a good song. Surrender to Me is a good song. So it's got some good stuff on it. Still has the Boston sound to it. Then they did an album called Corporate America. Still don't have that in my collection. I'm not a big fan of it. And then the more recent stuff, I think they did an album in 2013. I showed it, Love, Life, and Hope or something, I think it was called. But they're influential, and they've stood the test of time. And, you know, in my assessment, I believe that they are eligible and should be, you know, not only nominated, they should be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Number 3, kind of goes without saying, Styx. Why the hell is this band not in the Hall of Fame? They've been around forever, you know? And if they're ever to be nominated and inducted, I want to see them inducted in with Dennis DeYoung. All right? Now, whether you like what he did with Roboto and the Kilroy album, you know what? It was just him taking a risk in the early 80s, something he wanted to try different. Okay? Yeah, the album was a flop. And it still sold some good copies, but it was a flop in terms of them after all that great success they had with Grand Illusion, Pieces of Eight, and the follow-up albums to that. But still in all, good solid history of good material. And dig into those deep cuts on those albums too, and the earlier stuff. A lot of really, really good material in their catalog of music. So, obviously, in my assessment, they are definitely eligible and should have been nominated and inducted a very, very long time ago. Number 4, Grand Funk Railroad. That goes without saying. Put them in there. Enough of this crap already. If you don't put them in for any other reason, I'm your captain is reason enough to induct that band into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay? Go through their catalog of music. They have good stuff. Okay, number 5. A little bit later on down the road, we go into the 1980s. Okay? You have a band called Motley Crue. Maybe you guys heard of them, Vince, Mick, Nicky, Tommy. Maybe you guys heard of them. Good, strong, solid catalog of music. I know some people don't like them. Typically, they're grunge fans that don't like them because Motley Crue was an 80s hard rock band. And they don't like them for that reason. When I hear the Dr. Feelgood album, I have that album cover tattooed on my leg. I love that album. They make me, that music just, it kicks ass. It's good stuff, it's upbeat music. That's what I want to see them kind of artists into the Hall of Fame. That was probably, I think what I'm trying to say without rambling on the subject, okay, it is time to stop all this hatred of 80s hard rock bands. All right? Grunge came and went. It don't exist no more. All right? I'm getting sick and tired of hearing 2 or 3 songs from the 80s on, classic rock radio, and then they just skip over it and they play grunge music all the time. I would love to turn the classic rock station on at work and hear, Dr. Feelgood, Girls, 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 Wild Side, Plenty of other good stuff, Shout at the Devil, Looks to Kill, Too Young to Fall in Love, Home Sweet Home. This is stuff I want to hear, These guys rock. They are definitely eligible, and I would absolutely love to see these guys inducted. So, to keep the video short, we're getting close to 10 minutes. The last one, of course, one of my favorites of all time, Whitesnake. Now, David Coverdale is already in the Hall of Fame as an artist, with the band Deep Purple. David Coverdale, in my assessment, the man is a genius. I try to sing like him. I love his music. I love Whitesnake. I have all my life. Now, I first became, I'm almost 39 years old, so I first, with my great memory and being the youngest sibling, I became familiar with their music when the album came out in '87, self-titled album. You know, then I heard Slide It In. Then I heard Slip of the Tongue. Then I got me a Greatest Hits album. And I heard, started listening to more stuff. Now, they're even making music today. Now, he's had some lineup changes in his band, obviously. It would be great if John Sykes was still there today, but he's not. But he's got a decent band backing him up now, and you know what? Whitesnake as a band is still very potent, even today. And I would absolutely love to see this band into the Hall of Fame. I mean, that self-titled record in '87 sold about 8 million copies. Slip of the Tongue came out late in '89, sold 1 million copies. Still a very solid album to follow up. I mean, when you have the success of that album from '87, it's kind of hard to top it. But I think he did a very solid job with Slip of the Tongue. Even though he didn't like it for a lot of years, he didn't feel like it was, belonged in his catalog, or it wasn't up to what some of their earlier material was. I still, he kind of changed his mind and grew to like it as much as the other stuff in the catalog. So Whitesnake's definitely, I would give them the nod any day. So anyhow, that's my list. We'll get this video uploaded. If you like videos like this, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and you're always welcome back to this channel again. I appreciate all the new subscribers and anybody that chimes in with positive comments and stuff. You make the channel better and you give me reason to keep making these videos. Y'all have a goody goody. We'll see you in the next video.